Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name's Justin. So by now you've probably heard about AI generated images. This is the ability to just type in any phrase you want and machine learning powered whatever generates brand new images out of thin air. Spider-Man playing the drums, it can do that. Anything is possible. But in addition to these AI-powered image generators, there's also been the rise of AI-powered chatbot programs. So you can ask it whatever question you want, make an argument defending the honor of cat percussion, and it will just spit out some really interesting things in response. I really just want to push these models and these algorithms until they break. And just so you know, they're not very good. Like, I have to pick 1 out of every 20 images that I get, and the responses have a hit or miss sort of ratio as well. But I wasted so much time because this was incredibly addicting and hilarious and fun, so I hope you enjoy it. But first, today's video is brought to you by edrumcenter.com. If you're shopping for a new or used electronic drum set, you gotta give Edrum Center a try. If you already have an electronic drum set, Edrum Center also has all the accessories you might need as well. They got headphones, sticks, pedals, speakers, you name it. Use my link in the description below to save $25 off your next order of over $100. And it supports the channel at the same time. So use the link in the description below, and thank you to edrumcenter.com. Okay, so let's see what the AI overlords think a drum set looks like. Let's just begin with a phrase like drum set. What could happen? Sometimes it will generate a normal looking drum set, but a lot of the time it's basically nonsense. And the closer you look, the worse it gets. The main problem here is that the computer knows there should be a kick drum, toms, and cymbals, but it doesn't always have the faintest idea on where to place them in 3D space, just like my local Guitar Center. And even when it does get most of the drums right, there's always something strange going on. Please don't ask me what this shape coming out of the floor tom is, I have no idea. The more words you start tacking on, the more realistic it all becomes. Or maybe I just stop caring. For example, a drum set, but on fire. You get some really cool looking images. Using an app like StarryAI also give me some really interesting drum sets in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. They look straight out of a movie like Mad Max. Like they all just survived a nuclear blast. Very impressive. But then the AI hits you with images like this one. What is even happening to his head? Now many apps, like the ones I got these photos from, have a little style tab. So aside from putting in the text you want, you can also select a watercolor preset, or a cyberpunk futuristic sort of look to it. There's even ways to get like anime looking drums from websites like Night Cafe. Now switching gears, I've noticed that AI is way better at rendering individual pieces of a drum set. So if you type in snare drum, they actually look believable. Yeah, the hardware may be a little bit weird here and there, and the name badges are warped, but they look really cool. Snare drums on fire, even better. Same thing with cymbals. But things get a little bit weird when you try to render a hi-hat. It looks like they turned the hi-hat into a hat. Notice these metal lathing lines. So even when it gets my intention wrong, it's still trying the best it can, and there's a strange sort of logic to what's happening. When it comes to drum thrones, they're a little bit hit or miss. It'll get one right, like this orange drum throne, but then it'll invent something I've never seen before. The very first drum rack made out of drum thrones. You could also just ask it to make a drum throne made out of drums. Now obviously, I needed to know what it would look like for Batman to play drums. Would it finally bring him true happiness? I gotta say, some of these images turned out really cool looking. I really appreciated that Batman has a photo of himself hanging on the wall. And of course, I had to see what it would look like for Godzilla to play the drums. Now let's get Abraham Lincoln on the drums. The first photo is pretty promising. Moving ahead to the second image, it goes a little bit downhill. He's frowning, he's got a sword sticking out of his wrist, and it looks like he knitted these drums himself. And he has 3 legs. And then they hit you with images like this. And also this. So by now you probably noticed that I'm not playing to the strengths of AI for this video. I'm forcing it to do something it's just not very good at yet. So if you want to be impressed, just type in something like, man staring off into the distance going to war. And then you can sprinkle in variations like, in the style of epic fantasy painting. You'll get even more good images. But of course, we're here for the drums, and AI is terrible at making accurate drum images. So in order to make this video, I've been spamming the generate image button on a ton of different websites and apps, generating hundreds of images, and then picking the most interesting ones. Deep down, I don't even really care that much about accuracy right now. It's more fun just to throw out random phrases at the wall and see how far I can get with these crazy requests. Taking your pet drums for a walk down the street? Let it be so. What about a levitating snare drum winning a marathon? Can AI make a photo of someone doing a kickflip on a drum set? It sounds impossible, but they did it somehow. A drum set on the moon, or the moon in a drum set. How about Call of Duty characters playing drums in the style of Modern Warfare 2? It's kind of funny to me how different engines approach this. Dalle 2 will throw a camo wrap on the drum shells, and then tastefully place an army hat on top. Meanwhile, Craiyon just puts a drum set inside of a Call of Duty map. So next up, I was wondering what would happen if Drumsticks became sentient and rose up to attack New York City. I don't really know what I was expecting, but this does fit the bill. There's a problem though for asking for angry drumsticks. A good chunk of my images turned into chickens, which had me confused for the longest time, until it dawned on me that a drumstick is also the leg of a chicken. But of course, there are ways to fix this. If you use something like Stable Diffusion 2.1, you can actually decide what words you don't want in the image. So we can up the ante and have alien drumsticks invading planet Earth. Now, because this channel is primarily about electronic drums, you might be wondering why I haven't tried that yet. The answer is I have tried it, but these AI algorithms are really terrible at making believable electronic drums. And when it did spit out electronic drum-like images, they were never set up correctly. Just like my local Guitar Center. Something else you'll notice about these images are the levitating drumsticks. They're coming out of people's necks, and then sometimes you'll find them sinking into snare drums. Batman is playing with 3 drumsticks at the same time, and other people are using their psychic mind powers to make drumsticks play by themselves. Now, of course, AI isn't all about turning text into images. You can also just ask an AI questions about electronic drums, and it will give you surprisingly well-formed thoughts. Should I play acoustic drums or electronic drums? It'll give you a Wikipedia-style article from it. Now, if you try to go fishing for more specific spicy takes, like who makes better drums, Roland or Yamaha, it will give you the politically correct answer every single time. It is difficult to say who makes better drums because the quality of drums can vary to the specific model year and individual preferences of the drummer. Both Roland and Yamaha are well-known respected manufacturers. You can even do things like tell it to review a drum set for you. Now just keep in mind, it is a bit vague and it will get facts wrong. For example, it thought the VD706 came with the TD27 module. But to me, this is still impressive, and who knows what will happen a few years from now. But by far, my favorite thing to do is command the AI to craft speeches for me. Let's pretend for a second that Cat Percussion, for whatever reason, was struggling with bad press. So I told the AI to create an emotional, powerful speech defending the honor of Cat Percussion. These are all real things it came up with. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today with a heavy heart, as I feel the need to defend the honor of a company that has been so dear to me and so many others, Cat Percussion. For those of you who may not know, Cat Percussion has been a cornerstone of the percussion community for over 2 decades. Well, it's been a lot longer than 2 decades, but whatever. But recently, their reputation has come under attack, as some have questioned the quality and reliability of their products. And I must say, this pains me deeply, as someone who has used and relied on Cat Percussion's instruments for many years. I can attest to their exceptional quality and durability. The company has been accused of not being innovative enough and not keeping up with the latest trends in the industry. Some have even gone so far to call Cat Percussion's products outdated and irrelevant. But let me tell you, these criticisms could not be further from the truth. The fact is, Cat Percussion has always been at the forefront of innovation in the world of electronic drums. I urge you to reject the misguided attacks against Cat Percussion's reputation. Instead, let us celebrate their commitment to excellence and the incredible instruments they create. Let us stand together and defend the honor of Cat Percussion. Thank you. Oh, no, thank you so much. You're too kind. Thank you. And if you're feeling a little bit uninspired to play drums and you just need a pep talk, you can literally ask this thing to give you a motivational speech as to why you should practice more. Hope you guys enjoyed this more lighthearted video. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you all in a few.